Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Farrah, and today's video is going to be a very short little vlog about my thoughts about reading Northanger Abbey, and more importantly, Jane Austen for the first time. This is the very first time I've ever read any of her novels before, and I don't even think, well, I did see Emma with Gwyneth Paltrow a while ago, but honestly, I don't remember. It was like right when it first came out. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of document my thoughts and see how I feel about her writing and see what my plans are going forward in terms of exploring this author a little bit. So without further ado, I will start the vlog. And then I will just film a little bit of my thoughts as I go on, and then in the end I'll do a quick wrap up. So stay tuned to see what I think about Northanger Abbey. And I hope if you're watching this, you have read it so that you can add your 2 cents in the comments as well.
So we are off to a good start. I just think that she's really funny, Jane Austen. The satire has enveloped me from the first paragraph. So I wasn't expecting this. Honestly, I didn't know what the story was about at all. I mean, I read the back of the book. But yeah, so I'm just going to read you the first paragraph. It gives you an idea of the writing style. But we have chapter 1. No one who had ever seen Catherine Morland in her infancy would have supposed her born to be a heroine. Her situation in life, the character of her father and mother, her own person and disposition were all equally against her. Her father was a clergyman without being neglected or poor, and a very respectable man, though his name was Richard. He had never been handsome. He had a considerable independence, besides 2 good livings, and he was not in the least addicted to locking up his daughters. Her mother was a woman of useful plain sense, with a good temper, and what is more remarkable, with a good constitution. She had 3 sons before Catherine was born, and instead of dying and bringing the latter into the world as anybody might expect, she lived on to have 6 children more, to see them growing up around her, and to enjoy excellent health herself. A family of 10 children will always be called a fine family, or there are heads and arms and legs enough for the number, but the Morlands had little other right to the word, for they were in general very plain, and Catherine, for many years of her life, as plain as any. She had a thin, awkward figure, a sallow skin without color, dark, lank hair, and strong features, so much for her person, and not less unpropitious for heroism seemed her mind. So there you go. I mean, right away, we've got this plain family, nothing special about Catherine. I just think it's so funny how she introduced them all like that. So that was the first part. And I have read a little bit more, but I wanted to stop and just talk about this. Then we have another section here, which I thought was funny, but her love of dirt gave way to an inclination for finery, and she grew clean as she grew smart, and now had the pleasure of sometimes hearing her father and mother remark on her personal improvement. Catherine grows quite a good-looking girl. She is almost pretty today, were words which caught her ears now and then, and how welcome were the sounds. To look almost pretty is an acquisition of higher delight to a girl who has been looking plain the first 15 years of her life than a beauty from her cradle can ever receive. So she's playing on the fact that, just being called pretty or beautiful meant so much to her. You just have to love her already. I mean, I love this character already. There's just nothing great about her. She's mediocre at everything. She's average at everything. And I just love when we have a heroine like that. So at the ripe old age of 15, 17, they are getting worried because she's not meeting anybody. She has no suitors, no potential passions have been aroused. So they decide to send her to a nearby village of Bath. And I really liked this little part. But when a young lady is to be a heroine, the perverseness of 40 surrounding families cannot prevent her. Something must and will happen to throw a hero in her way. So yeah, loved chapter 1, moving on to chapter 2. And spoiler alert, I have read ahead, so.
Okay guys, so I've made it through the first volume. I'm about halfway through the book now, and I am really enjoying it. Yeah, it's definitely a different story than I thought it was going to be. I didn't really have any idea what the book was going to be about before I picked it up, so I don't really know if I had an idea, but you know how you have just a general idea of what you think a story's about, and then you read it, it's like, oh, okay, this is actually nothing like what I imagined. So I really like the character of Catherine. I think she's a little flat. There's not too much personality in her, but when her personality does come out, I do find that I like her. I like how she kind of sticks up for herself a little bit. She's a little wishy-washy, but not as bad as some heroines are in some of these books. But my favorite character, though, when she appears is Isabella. I just think she's funny. She's written very probably satirically, but she's dramatic. She has a flair for you know, just being the drama queen a bit. She's funny the way that she talks about other men a little bit. And I do think that she's, you know, one of those slightly toxic friends that manipulates people to do things her way, and you don't really know if her intentions are completely honest and true with what she feeds to Catherine. And I do think they have a good, genuine friendship going on, but I do have my suspicions about her and what her motives are, and if she really does love Catherine's brother and this and that. So I would say the first half of the book didn't have a ton of plot. They kind of were doing the same thing over and over. I'm not going to get into any spoilers during this part of the review, but maybe at the end of the book I'll talk about, you know, more spoilery things, just in case people haven't read this and are watching the vlog and do still want to read it. So overall, I like the character of Henry. He's pretty quirky. He seems really nice. She's building him up as to be sort of a favorable match. And then, of course, Isabella's brother, John, it makes me laugh too, because he's also very kind of dramatic and selfish and unaware and snobby. But I have to laugh because they are from a big family, so you would think they'd be a bit more humble or agreeable, just having to navigate life with multiple siblings. That's usually how it is. But yeah, it's interesting. Mrs. Allen, she makes me laugh too. You know, her passion and knowledge for fashion and not much else is, I think Jane Austen's doing a great job of giving these characters these I guess stereotypical traits, and it's funny because you know it's a bit over the top. So now at this point in the book, Catherine will be traveling to Northanger Abbey, the location she's going to with the Tilneys. So we're getting a little change up, which I'm excited about. So yeah, overall, halfway through, I'm very much enjoying it. It's easy to read, it's easy to follow. I'm surprised by the humor. It's not making me laugh out loud, but it's making me smile, you know, even if it's just an inside my head smile. But it is very enjoyable, so I'm looking forward to moving on to the rest of it. Spoiler alert, I have read a couple pages into volume 2, but I just wanted to, you know, do the wrap up or do the update now. So here's a little example of Isabella's personality that kind of makes me laugh a bit. So we have this scene where Catherine and Isabella are together in the pump room watching people go by. Isabella's engaged to Catherine's brother. Catherine, observing that Isabella's eyes were continually bent towards one door or the other as an eager expectation, and remembering how often she had been falsely accused of being arch, thought the present a fine opportunity for being really so, and therefore gaily said, "Do not be uneasy, Isabella. James will soon be here." "Pshaw, my dear creature," she replied, "do not think me such a simpleton as to be always wanting to confine him to my elbow. It would be hideous to always be together. We should be the jest of the place. And so, you are going to Northanger? I am amazingly glad of it. It is one of the finest old places in England, I understand. I shall depend upon a most particular description of it. You shall certainly have the best in my power to give. But who are you looking for? Are your sisters coming?" "I'm not looking for anybody. One's eyes must be somewhere, and you know what a foolish trick I have of fixing mine when my thoughts are 100 miles off." So just her personality is making me laugh. Yeah, I enjoy her scenes that she's in.
Hey guys, just a quick check-in. I'm about 3/4 of the way through the book now, and I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to get into spoilers for anybody that hasn't read it, but I think that, you know, the whole setting of the novel is different now that we're at Northanger Abbey, at the Tilneys' home in Gloucestershire. I think that's where they live. And you can see the Gothic novel satire coming into effect much more now. You know, Catherine's naivety, her imagination getting away with her. It's like she put herself in one of the novels that she's always loved, and she's acting it out in a sense. You know, partly because she's so excited to be there, but partly maybe just to add some adventure to her life. But I will say at this point, I think that Jane Austen has done a really good job of giving us an idea of these characters and giving us little hints and seeing how certain characters are changing and maybe the motivations are coming more to light. One of Catherine's female friends, you can see maybe she's not acting as she appeared to be originally. She may have different motivations, and you can see some manipulation coming into play with that. And you do see how naive Catherine is and how she is difficult. She has a difficult time really analyzing other people and just seeing how she assumes the best of people. And I think that I can relate to that a little bit. I do sometimes am a bit overly trusting when it comes to people. I never assume people are doing anything maliciously. So yeah, it's an interesting book. I really do like the writing though. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I bet this would be fun to listen to as audio. Maybe if I reread it someday, I'll listen to the audio version. But yeah, so I'll do one last check-in at the final part of the book, and then I'll do a wrap-up, and I'll add my spoiler thoughts within that at the end. So yeah, it's slow. I'm just getting through this very slowly, but it's not for the it's not because the novel itself isn't readable or fun. It's just that I just do not have a lot of time to physically read. So hoping I can get it done this week, hopefully.
Well, guys, I have finished Northanger Abbey, and the very first thing that came to my mind as I read the last paragraph was, that's a little anticlimactic. We'll just leave it at that. So I think as I sit here and think about it, I really did enjoy it. It was, I don't really know how to describe it because I just finished listening to The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna as audio, and that was a very emotional book for me, and it was really good, and I really enjoyed it. So reading that at the same time as reading this was a different experience because this one kind of seemed a bit bland and boring in comparison. I did really enjoy it. I thought it was a good story. I wouldn't say this is amazing or anything. I know a lot of you warned me in the comments that this is not her finest work, and I understand that. That's why I wanted to read it first. But I did enjoy it. I mean, I would give it 4 stars right off the bat. I really liked the character of Catherine. But I really liked Isabella. She was, I don't want to say spoilers. I'll get into spoilers at the end, but Isabella was a favorite of mine just because she made me laugh with her ways. But yeah, so that's it. I'll see you guys in a minute for my final thoughts. Okay guys, I'm back with my final thoughts for Northanger Abbey. I really did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I think my favorite aspects of the book were probably, the humor, definitely. I like how she poked fun at certain types of personalities and aspects of social life back then. And some of the characters were quite over the top. Isabella, of course. She was one of my favorite characters on page. However, of course, in real life, I wouldn't like that type of person at all. She was a total manipulator, but she was fun to read about, I loved how plain and ordinary Catherine was. You just don't see that a lot. Just one of these regular type of gals trying to make it through life. I love that she played off of her just natural cluelessness about life and being quite naive in all situations. So that was good. It was very easy to read, very approachable. I would never have guessed it was written as long ago as it was. And yeah, I think just overall it was fun. It was fun. I wouldn't say it was amazing. I wouldn't rush out to read it if you haven't. I would say probably my only critiques of this would be that maybe the romance part was pretty flat in terms of why they liked each other as much as they did. I mean, they really know each other that well? Not really, but I think that's not really what the book's about. Maybe that's part of the satire that she was trying to do, but the ending was, I think I mentioned this, a little bit anticlimactic. And I think, for me, I don't think I've read enough I know I haven't. I haven't read enough 18th century Gothic literature to really maybe appreciate the satire, so it could have probably been better if I had, but I think it was really creative what she did, and I enjoyed the book quite a bit, so I'm looking forward to reading more Jane Austen. Probably the next one I'll get to will be Sense and Sensibility, and I would definitely read this again, but probably as an audiobook. I would love to hear it read, you know, in British accents. I think that would be fun. And I would also be interested in watching any kind of adaptations that have come out, either whether it's been a TV or movie adaptation. So if you guys know of any, let me know that if you enjoyed any, let me know, and let me know what your favorite Jane Austen book is, if you like this or didn't like it and why. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this little vlog, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.